Net worth is a word that you're possibly familiar with, and when you hear it, it probably makes you think about how rich or how wealthy somebody is. And though that is somewhat true, there's a lot more to the concept of net worth than simply measuring how rich or wealthy somebody is. Did you know that regardless of who you are, regardless of your financial situation, you have a net worth and it can be measured? And that's what I'm going to go into in this video. I'm going to explain a bit about the concept of net worth, what it means for you, why it's a useful metric, and if you stick around till the end, I'm going to show you a tool that I use to measure my net worth. So let's get right into the video. Money. My name is Johnny. Thank you for joining me for this video. Let's get this money. So let's start out nice and simple. So what is the concept of net worth and how do we define it? So net worth in its most simple form looks at everything that you own, your possessions, these are known as assets, and everything that you owe. So liabilities, whether you owe it to the bank or whether you owe it to a person. And net worth is essentially looking at these two metrics. And the calculation of net worth is this difference between what you own, your assets, and your liabilities. So by doing your total assets minus your total liabilities, this gives you your net worth calculation. So what's considered an asset and what's considered a liability? Now, for purposes of net worth, an asset is anything that you own, that is in your possession, in your name, that has financial, monetary or economic value. So that might be any cash that you have, whether it's in your current bank account, whether it's cash that you have in hand. It might be any stocks you have, any savings, any investments, any cryptocurrencies if you have them, any vehicles that you own, if you own a home. All these things have a monetary value and they may be liquid, so you might be able to move them very easily. That's to say, exchange them for cash very quickly, or they might be a little bit more illiquid, such as is a house or maybe a vehicle, but they essentially have a monetary value. So these are all what we would consider to be assets in the context of net worth. And liabilities, so if we think of things that you owe, this could be something like a credit card balance at the end of the month, it could be a mortgage, a loan from the bank, it could be student loan debt. Anything that you owe to others that is outstanding against your name is considered a liability. So with that in mind, to calculate your net worth, let's say you take the sum of all your cash or your investments, savings, any vehicles, any properties you have in your name, and then you subtract away that debt, you know, the loan balance, the mortgage, the credit card balance. This is what will give you your net worth. So this is how anyone can have a net worth, you see, because all of us will have some of these items to our name in terms of assets and against our name in terms of liabilities. So taking those assets and those liabilities, we can calculate our net worth essentially. So taking a look at a few net worth examples. So if we look at Jay-Z, now according to Forbes, he's worth $1.3 billion. And if we take a look on his Forbes page, we'll see that the majority of his net worth comes from his businesses that he owns now. So he obviously has a major stake in Roc Nation as the founder of the label. He also has champagne and cognac brands that he has as businesses. He has fine art collections, and if you remember, once upon a time he also had stakes in the Brooklyn Nets basketball team and in the Tidal streaming service. So this is how Jay-Z's net worth is made up. Now if we look at Warren Buffett, now Warren Buffett is estimated at around $124 billion, and the majority of his net worth is indirectly in stocks, so companies, through his holdings in Berkshire Hathaway. So Berkshire Hathaway, a company listed on the stock market which invests in individual companies. So Warren Buffett, as a main shareholder of Berkshire Hathaway, that's where the majority of his wealth is concentrated. So you can see here how a lot of these extremely wealthy people in the world, the large majority of their net worth is concentrated in income producing assets, so like stocks, like shares, like businesses. And this is why, for example, people might be surprised to hear that, you know, Elon Musk is sleeping on friends' couches and that he doesn't own his own place, even though he's a billionaire. Well, that's because the majority of his net worth is concentrated in the businesses that he owns, so SpaceX, Tesla, Twitter now as well. So in the case of Elon Musk, it's not that he has $250 billion in cash at the ready to spend willy-nilly. It's that he is a majority stakeholder in several multi-billion-dollar companies, and in the context of everything that Elon Musk owns that is in his name, that's where the economic value is stored in those companies. So now that we understand the concept of net worth, why is it important? Well, think about your net worth statement as a snapshot of your financial situation at any given moment in time. As we said, it shows what you own against what you owe. So it can be a really useful tool in calculating what your financial risk is at any point in time. And it can also be used to measure your financial progress over time as well. So ideally, your goal should be to grow your net worth gradually over time. So what you would want to see is your assets column increasing in value, hopefully as you perhaps save more, invest more money. And of course, the fewer liabilities, the better. But if perhaps you use debt to leverage real estate or to invest, then what you can use is that liabilities column to measure responsible debt management, let's call it, if that's your approach. But ideally, you do want to see your assets column much outweighing your liabilities column. So that's a high level view, looking at what I own versus what do I owe, and am I managing my assets to liabilities ratio responsibly. What we can then do is we can look down into the details and look at, okay, where are my assets concentrated? Are they in appreciating assets or cash producing assets, such as investment real estate, such as dividend paying stocks, such as index funds? Or could it be that they're sat in depreciating assets over time, such as would be the case with a vehicle? Or could it be that you have actually too much of your net worth in cash when you could be leveraging a lot more to be investing? Or do you have enough cash on hand for if an emergency strikes? And then looking at your debt, what kind of debt do you have? Is it high interest debt like a credit card debt, or is it lower interest debt like a mortgage? So by understanding your net worth and seeing which categories your assets and liabilities lie into, you can really have a good understanding of your financial situation. And for those of you that budget, you might ask the question of why you would do a net worth calculation if you're not already doing one when you already budget. Well, this was the case with me as well, actually. You know, I hadn't actually considered the concept of net worth until end of last year, really, because I concentrated a lot on my budget. Well, think about it this way. So a budget, it tracks money that comes in and where it goes out. So it really tracks and measures your behaviors and your tendencies with money. What your net worth statement does, or your net worth calculation does, is it shows your financial position and it gives you the result of your behavior. So you can think of your budget as being the measurement of the behavior and the net worth statement as the result of the behavior. So the two should ideally go hand in hand. It's almost circular as well. If you start with your net worth statement and you decide your financial goals based on what you see in your net worth statement, that will inform the decisions you make in your budget. And there will be something that's in your mind whenever you go to make a purchase, whenever you spend money. You'll be thinking about, what does this mean for my net worth? And then coming back around the other side, you'll of course see that, you know, because I spent this money here, or because I saved this money here, this is the impact it's had on my overall financial picture in my net worth. So measuring both are really important, you know, tracking a budget, but particularly your net worth statement, because that is ultimately your financial situation at any given moment in time. And you want to be able to measure progress in your financial position at any moment in time. So if you've made it to this point in the video and you're looking for some resources to help you calculate and measure your net worth over time, then I'd like to give you a quick overview of an Excel file that I've developed that will definitely be able to help you in this. What you're seeing right now is my net worth tracker file. What this file allows you to do is input a range of different assets and liabilities based on your category. You'll input the value, and then in the front sheet of the Excel file, it will produce for you a net worth statement, and as a result, a net worth calculation as well. And each time you go into this file, however often you decide to track it, whether it's monthly, whether it's quarterly, whether it's yearly, you can update the latest information in the tracker based on information from your investing products, from your bank accounts, from your debt balances, and you can update the historical tracker of your net worth at the click of a button. And you can see that both in tabular and graphical format. If you're a person with investments overseas that you may be measuring a different currency from your home currency, let's call it, then you do have the option to input those assets in the overseas currency and then convert it back to your local currency by updating the exchange rates in the small table. The idea of this net worth tracker file is for you to have an absolutely clear picture of what's going on with your money at every point in time and be able to track it over the long term. So if you like the look of the file and you think it'll help you with your personal finance needs, then head over to the store section of my website. I'll leave the link in the video description and also up here at the top for you, and you can download that as a digital file. I will be putting a short time offer out on the file so that you can get it at a discounted price as well. So do head over there quickly if you want to take advantage of that offer. Leave a comment and let me know, guys, do you track your net worth and how has it influenced the financial decisions you make? Now, why not check out my other videos? And if you want to see more content like this and you're not yet subscribed, then make sure you hit the subscribe button with a notification bell so you don't miss a single video. I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money, build this net worth. Yeah. Oh. Alexa, I'm filming. Stop the music. Thank you, Alexa. Nobody tells me when to go to bed.